Greetings and welcome to Paint Here Now. I am Will Parody, and today we are going to look at the primary colors red, yellow, and blue a little bit closer. And I think that's it. I don't think we're going to use the white or anything else. We're going to use just red, yellow, and blue. We're going to mix a ton of different colors. And we'll go look at the piece that we were working on earlier this week, the exercise slash painting, and add a little bit to it and see how it looks cool on the colors we made. But we're going to start off with red, yellow, and blue. I've got my trusty ice cube tray here. You can use something like this or old plastics or some things you might throw away. Better than throwing them away, use them. Anyways, I really like to use these. We have my red, yellow, and blue in here. Using a brush like this. I've got my water and a few other brushes. These are acrylic paints. They're water soluble. They dry quickly. And they will stain your clothing and stuff. You might want to make sure you have a cloth or wear clothing like this that you can clean your brushes on and your fingers and such, because you will get messy. So this was something I had started for another lesson, and I had abandoned it and did something else instead. And I figure I'll come back and look at this. We're going to see why this is here, how we can get these kinds of colors. But red, yellow, and blue to start. So with that, let's just dive right in and see what red, yellow, and blue can do. All right. Slightly different brands of paint, but the yellow and blue are similar, if not the same. We have red. We're going to add a little bit of more red here since I have it on my brush, and we're going to use it. Look at this great color. It's so cool. Oh, look at it alone. If we can isolate this for a second and just take a look here, it's such a, it moves the heart. It's a color of blood. It's a very important part of us in that respect, and it can affect us in that way. Oh, almost looks like a heart, kind of. Oh, all the veins. Oh, ew, gross. Okay, well, anyways, red can be a lot prettier than that. When we add some yellow, so we got red, yellow. Now, these are primary colors, prime one first, because these are the three basic colors of pigment, at least. Light, when you're mixing lights together, it's a little different. But these are the three colors of which you can mix pretty much everything that there is, and it's a pretty amazing phenomenon to see what you can do with these three colors and how important they are. And then we have blue. We see blue gives us a much cooler feel of life. Yellow is still yet... It's a little cool, but it's also warm. It's classified as a warm color. But it really teeters, because you mix blue and yellow and you get green, and you put yellow with cool colors and it fits. It electrifies it a little bit, warms it up some, but it doesn't feel super hot. Anyways, so already we have some different things. We just have primary colors, and we're seeing how they can interact with the white. This circle, big blue blob, kind of connects up here with this blue one, but there's this yellow one here that kind of does something, maybe brings your eye up. So anyways, neat stuff. So we're going to take these colors that we have, like some yellow, mix it in with this red, and make some kind of an orange instead. It's a nice orange. So boom, 3 colors, now we have 4. Well, actually, we have a lot more. If you look at all the different various hues and tones and the different things that we can do with just mixing these 2 colors, red, yellow. Look at that. Really neat stuff. So we have a whole bunch of different oranges just from this. We didn't even have to pick them or go down to Florida. Haha, boom. Oh, isn't that so funny? And a little bit more red in here, some interesting contrast. And it just, it just makes it slightly darker orange. And look at that. Yellow and red. That's all we said. And we have all kinds of orange going on now in our head. Essentially, the paper, the palette, the canvas, I should say, the paper, whether you're writing or painting, it's an extension of the brain. In a way, it's a way in which your brain can work out other ideas and things that it doesn't necessarily work out in its head. So we look and we see, well, we mix some nice oranges. Let's go right to the next equation. We have some yellow we'll put in here. Quite a little bit of yellow, quite a little. Quite a bit of yellow. Some blue, not quite as much, but it's going to be dark enough. And we have this interesting green. Nice earthy kind of a green. Lovely in itself. Add a little bit more yellow to this. Yeah, see, oh, look, so now we're starting to get a field. Oh boy, look at that. Slightly pale. Like it's not super bright green grass. Maybe it's not grass. Maybe it's just dry. Maybe some trees up in here. See what you can do? Look at that. Boom. Just with... Oh, let's get silly. Whoa, boy. 2 colors. Yellow and blue. But let's make a few more distinctions here. Oh, that's a nice color. Dark, foresty kind of a green. Good shadow color. Some night colors in there. Even more yellow. Without white, and I don't want to use white this time. I just want to use the pure color. We're going to get, you know, white will bring out completely different sort of tone variations and even hues, to be honest. But this will, you know, a little bit more subtle, but it's when you get lighter especially, but it's there. Once again, 2 colors. We have all of these cool, almost literally cool, I guess it's greenish, so cool, colors. You can see how a pure blue lays on top of the yellow. It greens out. Really cool. Ooh, neat. So there we go. We have what we can do with some blue and yellow make green. And there's all kinds of different kinds of green. This blue with this yellow makes this green, but you can do make brighter greens with different kinds of blues and so on and so forth. So it's cool. It works out pretty well. You can use different, that's why there's different colors, right? It's so you can get different blues and different yellows and different greens, but these are the ones, just these 3 we're using here. But I like this as a green, and there are ways we can brighten it up, but we're gonna stick with that for now. Then we do red and blue to make, that's gonna be very blue, purple. Now this is a color that really benefits from white, and so that's nice. I like that. So what we're going to do is, rather than using the white, we're going to show you what it's like when we lighten it up some. Even without water. See? Oh, that's neat. We'll use a little bit of water. So we can at least see some of the different tones. I'm going to make it a little bit redder in some areas here. See what happens. Like more of a violet. Reddish purple is a violet. That's cool. Let's add a little bit of blue, more blue to this. That's a, oh, look at that. Oops. It's got a little bit more red, but still. There we go. Look at, that's a beautiful blue, purple right there. A few different shades. Oh, spread it around. It's like adding white almost. Sometimes acrylic paints can act a lot like watercolors, and on paper it makes some sense. So, see, look at that. Look at this nice, beautiful, light lavender kind of color. Or lilac. Probably more lilac there. Maybe more lavender here, maybe. How dark it is where we get this mix over in here, too, with the blue and the red when it's really a good purple. It's a good mix up in here. It's not more blue than red, really, in some areas. Look, 2 colors, red and blue, and look at all these wonderful colors that we can get from that. So it's amazing. And if we start mixing these together, I've talked about in a lot of these lessons and stuff, complementary colors, which are red and green, yellow and purple, blue and orange. And if you mix these colors together, you get some different neutral colors, grays and browns and all this stuff. But what we're going to do, rather than be too technical about it, we're just going to mix those colors together. So if I get and see what happens, and just now we're going to just do all kinds of different things. We got our basic colors. We got purple and green and orange up. This is so cool. That's nice. That's some good stuff. I didn't really do that with the green. Let me see if some of it's dry enough. I know my brush is a little bit red. Water's getting... not a great example, but we can see some, yeah, because that red's in there. But we can see how you add some red to the green. It makes it a little bit more dulled out, brownish gray. Beautiful color, but you can see how, you know, the lightning. So, all right, we've got some red here. We're going to add some yellow, make an orange. It's a little dark, but it's orange nonetheless. And we're going to add a little bit more yellow. Okay, we have an orange here. That's also a nice orange. We're going to add some blue. And look at that grayish, greenish gray color you got here. How cool is that? If you add white to it, it makes it look even more gray and brings that element out. But we're not using white. So we might just thin it out a little bit. And a little bit more blue on this one. Sometimes if it's looking, yeah, really warm and a little brown, you add a little bit of blue. It'll bring some of the more gray aspects of it out. Although they're all beautiful, wonderful colors you can use. So, see, that's really nice. Good dark color. Used for all kinds of things, shadows, and just, I mean, you see all the kinds of dark colors in nature and in our non-nature world. See, instead of using white, we'll just use a little bit of water to lighten it up. And it's a nice gray. More water. So now we're going to take some red and blue, make a purple. Ooh, another real nice one here. Now we're going to add some yellow to this. Yellow, you say? We're going to get a really awesome earthy color out of this. Beautiful browns. Just awesome. Tree bark or sand or mud or all kinds of things. Shadows and flesh tones and animals and all kinds of wonderful chocolate. Oh boy, candy. Oh, now I'm getting hungry. But that's a great, look at this awesome color. Oh, we can see our mixed colors on the paper here. It's nice. Nice brown, a little bit of water. Cool. So that's nice. We're going to add a little bit of more blue in here to bring that side of out because it's very warm and brown. So if we add a little bit of blue to the mix to cool it up. Again, we're using 3 colors, red, yellow, and blue. I'm not using anything else. These 3 exact colors, no variations of them. Now look at this is another really nice. Now we've got it more on the gray side of things. So we've got browns and grays. Oh, that's an awesome color. Dark clouds. It's so much. Really neat stuff. Now let's do, got some yellow over here. Might as well go right over in here. And some blue. Mix a nice green next to these other greens. Add some red, its complement. Well, that's a lot of red. Well, we have a browner red, that's for sure. And then let's add more green in the way of blue and yellow. And get it started and then mix it in. Now we've got gray. That's another, look at this, these different grays next to each other. See? Similar but different. It's a little bit brown and gray. A little bit more blue to the mix. Make it a darker green. Cools it off a little bit, and we have something that's much more like a gray, and still have these beautiful browns to work with. Oh, it's so cool. So cool, man. All right. Yeah. lightening it up really almost brings out a little bit of more warmth to it. Great earth colors, great stone colors, useful colors all around. Red, yellow, and blue. Make a sandy beach. You can even lighten it up. Some more yellow and water. The beach is at the top of the page and the water's on the bottom. Flip it around. See, look at that, really beautiful. The different yellows you can get, like a maize color there, mixing these different colors together. Every variation of the things that you want, really, in color, you can find mixing these three colors. I can't emphasize how cool it is enough. See, look at that. That's another great kind of a gray color. Add some more. I like to bring the yellow out of it a little, and then extra blue. That's a sharp color right there. Night sky. Good color for abstraction to bring out some lights, you know, if you wanted to. Really nice contrast. So there we go. And again, this is a painting or a little exercise that we could turn into a painting. I'm just sort of adding a little bit of yellow because it mixes well with all our other stuff, and it will bring a little continuity into what we're doing. Just a little bit darker blue here and there, just sort of willy-nilly right now to see what happens, and just add a little bit more action to the piece. Cover some of these white areas, but not completely, not like we have to fill in all of the areas. But we want to just sort of work everything in. We can start bringing this out as any different number of kinds of paintings. We can add some white if we wanted to, and some of our other colors. Interesting stuff. Well, see, look at that. Red, yellow, blue. All of these different colors. No white, anything. Look at this. Look at these range of colors from one mix of some muddy grays, some complementary colors, all these beautiful purples, various greens. The feelings that it gets, you add a little bit of red, it makes it look a little different. Look at these, this really cool red to brown green in here. Oh, nice. Nice stuff. Dark colors too, almost black-like colors that you can use. Don't use black to shade things. That's what my high school art teacher used to say. Mix your complements together and get your own nice dark natural shadow colors. And I have to agree. Black has its place in painting as a color, as does white. But the things you can do with just the colors themselves is pretty amazing. All right, so we have a nice little piece here. I also mentioned we were going to take a look at this one. So let's do that a little bit. It's a little wet and it's going to get a little bit on the back here, but that's okay. We might go back and work on that piece again. But just before we go here, I want to add some of our red, yellows, and blues onto some of these more dull colors we've mixed, and some grays. I like the circles we've got going on in here. But see, add some sharp yellow and see the contrast. It's cool to see. Of course, it's very easy, especially as you make strokes, the paint can get thinned and we can see the colors that come through. But that's also a cool part of what paint can do. Some red on top of the, ooh, yeah, that's bold. See that red on that gray? Ooh, that really pops it right out. That's awesome. And let's go with some blue. Now I'm thinking kind of I have composition. I wanted a little bit more going on up there. But let's see where what happens on some of these areas. Oh, that's nice. That dark blue on this dark gray. Ooh, that's sharp. Snazzy. Nice clothing color. I usually don't say that because my clothings are paint covered tattered rags most of the time. just wear them until they fall apart, basically, and the paint holds them together. Then I do it again with the next in line. So that's neat. Cool. So anyways, yeah, and see, we can keep flowing and bring this out and keep painting it. I think this is fun. I think this is a good place to stop for today. We'll keep looking at our little exercises here and going back and working on them. I hope you have all had a good time and are continuing to paint. Do your own work, be original, learn from each other, but really try to get your voice out there. Love each other, be safe, and we'll keep on getting through this and keep making art. Thank you very much for your ear and your time.